All right, well, welcome everyone. This is our Sunday night team huddle, and my name is Missy Hides. I'm your National Vice President, and I'm just excited for the call tonight. I know we have some new consultants on the team and leaders on the team, and so it's July 7th. Like I said, I hope you had a great 4th of July holiday, and feeling the excitement and really knowing that so much is possible for us over these next 6 months. So before I get into that, I just want to say congrats on a great June. I know that for probably most of us, it wasn't as big of a June as we had hoped, right? I think a lot of us can say like, June wasn't my best month, and that's okay. It's okay if we don't have our best month every month, but what I do want to tell you guys is that even though our maybe overall QV was lower than what it has been in previous months, I really wanted to just tell you guys to just great job on our sponsoring. We added 41 new consultants to the team. So that's awesome. We added 41 people. We're helping 41 people get their businesses started. And I love that. And really what I want to kind of challenge us with, because I believe that this is possible, is to more than double that this month. What I would love to see us as a nation do is add 100 new consultants to our teams, because if I know the goals that each of you have, or most all of you have, and I know the goals that your leaders have. And so really, like we've talked about a lot, how we really grow the QV is by adding people. And when you add people, the volume, that QV will take care of itself, okay? So that's the first thing I wanted to just share with you guys. Second thing is that payday most likely will be tomorrow. You should be getting in your direct deposit, your Pure Pay account, the paycheck that you got off, you'll get off of all of your commissions that you earned in June. Okay, so we earn income every Tuesday, but then once a month we get paid on the sales of our entire business, and that gets deposited once a month. And so that should be happening tomorrow. If you don't love the amount that you see tomorrow, I want to really tell you, don't shrink back into the busyness of the schedule, into the busyness of summer, into the lie that, I just got to kind of shelf my business until September, or till we are done with vacation, or till the kids are back in school, or whatever stories that you might have, okay? Really press in and decide to just go build a bigger paycheck. Because here's what I want to tell you guys. You have every opportunity to do that. And I have personally seen paychecks grow $500 from one month to the next, $1,000 from one month to the next, $5,000 from one month to the next. That's not available in any other job or business that you currently have access to. I can almost guarantee it. You can't go into your employer tomorrow and say, you know what, I'd really love to make $2,000 more than I did last month, and I'm gonna do the same thing that I did last month. I'm just probably gonna be a little bit more consistent and maybe a little bit more intentional, and grow your paycheck. You can't go into an employer and say, I want to grow my business by $3,000 or $4,000 a month, but you can do that in a business with Arbonne. The question is, do you believe that you can? Because like I've talked about a lot, half of the battle is in the deciding and the believing that it is possible. And if you're sitting here tonight and you're like, yeah, nice for you, Missy, that's awesome, I'm so glad you can grow a paycheck, then you have the wrong attitude and you have the wrong mindset about this. You have to hear that, and then you have to be telling yourself, if she can do this, I can do this. If she can grow a paycheck by $500 from one month over to the next, all that's saying is that I can go do the same thing. And that's why I share those things with you, so that there's proof of what's possible. And if it's possible for me, then it's possible for you as well. Okay, so just decide that you want a bigger paycheck in July, and we're going to talk about that and how to do that. And then the last thing before we get into some of the training for tonight is that I hope if you've gotten the book Love Does, that you're enjoying it. I hope that you're finding the stories captivating. If you want to put in the chat box any of the things that you're loving about the book, or maybe you're listening to it, I'm going back and re-listening or rereading it, and it's just incredible. And hold on for a second. if you don't know the book I'm talking about, I referenced it 2 weeks ago on our team huddle, the last one we had in June, and this is the book. It's called Love Does by Bob Goff. And it's called Discover a Secretly Incredible Life in an Ordinary World. And he just lives with abandon. He lives just with adventure and a sense of wonder. And his whole goal is just to love people and love them well. And I love this book. And so I hope that you guys are finding it just not only fun to read and reading his stories, but it's also just encouraging you and inspiring you in those areas of your life. So tonight, what I want to talk about is we are kicking off the last 6 months of 2019. And if you haven't thought about that, I want you to take a minute and think about that, because that's pretty significant when you think about, sorry, I'm going to close out a couple tabs because I want to bring up my screen here. When you're thinking about how far you've come in your business so far, and then really where can you go in these next 6 months. And there's a couple things that we're going to talk about because I really want you to dream and think about where do you want to be at the end of 2019. Do you have that written down? Do you see it? Do you think about it? Do you share that with people? Do you dream about it? And if you don't have it written down, that's part of your homework tonight, is you need to write it down. You need to know where you're going, because if you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there. And there's never a direction or a focus. So you need to decide, where do you want to be on December 31st? What management level do you want to wake up to on January 1st? What are you unwilling to settle for anything less than between now and the end of the year? And then we're going to talk about how you're going to make that possible. But here's what I want to challenge you all with, is to dream big and then to dream further. If you right now have area manager as where you want to be by the end of this year, then I'm going to ask you to stretch and start to think about, what would it be like if I was a regional vice president? What if I got to go pick out a brand new Mercedes in January? What would look different? What would I have more of? What would I have less of, right? Think about if you've got RVP in your sights right now. Well, what if you were an executive regional vice president? So not only have you promoted, but you've helped somebody promote. Or you've helped enough people on your team that you're actually promoting to national vice president. Because that's the direction, that's the focus, that's the level that I want us thinking at. I'm not talking about, you did not hear me say, what do you think it would be like to be a district manager? Because if you're on this call tonight, district manager is not the goal by December 31st. District manager is the goal by July 31st. Because it's on sale. Remember, it's 3,500 QV this month. It's on sale. So you will not hear me say, do you want to be a district manager by December 31st? Could I lower the bar anymore if I said that, right? So you shouldn't be saying that to people on your team. That's not creating vision. That's not captivating their desires. That's not fueling dreams, okay? Why we can't set goals for 6 months out that can be accomplished in 6 days. District manager can be accomplished in 6 days. Can be accomplished in 1 day, in 2 days with 3,500, right? So think about where you want to be and think bigger, because you may sponsor someone this month that has the potential to be a regional vice president by the end of this year. I often think about the people I don't yet know that I'm going to sponsor into my team. I often think about who I'm going to meet, have a divine appointment with, going to run into at an event or a coffee shop or wherever that's going to join my team. And they have the potential to be a VP in less than 6 months. And I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. If you haven't gone and read it was 2 pictures that I posted, and it's from an ENVP. Her name's Ashley Stanfield, and she lives in California. And she posted an awesome testimony of a gal that joined her business 6 months ago. She lives in the state of Louisiana. She has never been to Louisiana or met this girl in person. And the girl has promoted to regional vice president. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that someone's going to join your business? Someone could join your business and promote to regional vice president, and you've never met them in person. Do you think like that? Do you elevate your belief to that place? And if you aren't yet, then I'm going to really challenge you to start doing that. Because we often, we get what we expect, good or bad. If you expect the sky's falling, people aren't going to respond to you, and that you aren't going to be successful, more than likely that's what you're going to get. If you expect people are going to catch this opportunity and run at it faster and better and bigger than you do, you're going to get that, right? So wake up and work your business every day like the next person you're going to sponsor is going to be a VP before the end of this year. Because you absolutely have every opportunity to do that, just like Ashley did. There was nothing that Ashley Stanfield did. She just kept being faithful in her business, and somebody caught the vision of this and ran with the system that Ashley had and promoted to RVP in 6 months. And again, I share that because if it is possible and it is proof and proven that it can happen in somebody else's business, it can happen in your business. Okay? So think about how awesome that would be to have an RVP in your business that you haven't even met in person. Like, how weird and awesome. Like, you're going to hand her the keys to her Mercedes that she's going to get a monthly bonus check for from the company, and you're meeting her on that trip for the first time, or him. Is that not awesome? Right? So I want you guys to be thinking that. So how do you have your next 6 months be your biggest 6 months? How do we as a team make our next 6 months our next biggest 6 months? And it really comes down to two things. So if you're taking notes, write these down. The first is you get good at your job. You get really good at your job. I'm going to tell you what your job is in just a second. And the second is you teach other people how to get good at your job. Your job. All you're doing is your job, and you're teaching other people to do what you do. Their job is your job. Your job is their job. There is no different. My job is no different for the most part. If I'm just looking at the building of my business, building of my district business, area business, it's no different than everything else. I am teaching a brand new person. What they need to do is what I'm doing, and what I need to do is what I'm teaching them to do every day. And our job is really 4 things. We share this opportunity, we sponsor people into the business, we sell some products, and then we hit repeat. This is a business of Groundhog's Day. You guys have heard me say this over and over and over, right? It's Groundhog's Day, this business. Here's the thing, and this is a really important key in success in your business. This business is not just about what works, it's about what duplicates. And if you've never heard that before, or you can't reiterate that as quickly as it just came off my tongue, then you need to write it down so you can learn these things. If you're only hearing me say things, and then 2 days from a huddle, you're like, what did Missy say? And you don't have it flowing off of the tip of your tongue like I do, then you need to be writing these things down, or you need to be listening to these huddles. The reason I can say all of the things that I say is because I have had to listen to these things over and over and over and over again, okay? It's a business. It's a career. You're learning these things, okay? So yes, I want you guys listening, but I also want you taking captive these things and making them your own so that you can be saying them. So it's about what duplicates. What the picture is that I want you to think about as you're picturing becoming an area manager, becoming a regional vice president, becoming a national vice president, is that everybody in your business is learning to sing the same song. And they sing the same song over and over and over and over again. Just like right now, there are how many of us on the call? 24 of us on the call. If I said, everybody unmute and everybody sing, Mary Had a Little Lamb, could all 24 of us together sing Mary Had a Little Lamb? Yes, I'm going to say pretty confidently we could all sing Mary Had a Little Lamb, right? Why? It's a simple song. It's a song we've been taught. It's a song we could sing over and over and over again. If I asked us to sing the Star Spangled Banner, could we all sing it? Maybe. Probably not. We'd like fumble the words. We probably wouldn't know all of the parts of it, right? Because it's too long, it's too complicated, and it's not something that is just simple to do over and over and over again. But Mary Had a Little Lamb is something that a 4-year-old can sing, something that a 44 or a 94-year-old can sing, right? And you want to think about your business in that same way. Everybody is singing the same song, so it has to be simple. Okay, so what is the song that we sing? What is it that we are going to be teaching everybody that comes into our business? We are going to be teaching them, sorry, I'm going to bring this up so y'all can see it, because I know that for some, this might be like really basic, but honestly, as I have been kind of looking at where we're at and we're growing and how new people are growing, this is really important that we get in, and it was important for us to kind of come back to this. So go to Life by Design. I'm at the Life by Design page. Click on units. This is the song that we're singing. These 8 steps. These 8 steps, you guys. These are the steps. This is the recipe for success that you need to know that you know that you know it. And you need to teach this to every single person that comes into your business. That's why it's here. And that's why it's set up in the way that it is. Because we have a recipe for success. And guess what, you guys? In the last 9 months, it's produced 3 regional vice presidents and 1 national vice president. So it works. So your best bet at promoting this year and moving forward is to follow the recipe that the rest of us had followed. And I didn't even count all the new area managers that we've had and the new district managers, because everybody that's promoting is doing the same recipe. And then we're teaching other people that have promoted to area, they've taught other people the recipe. And people that have promoted to VP have taught more people the recipe, okay? So the success, the secret is in following the recipe, following that song, how whatever analogy like clicks with you and you're like, light bulb moment, I get this. Because Arbonne is a business where the best copycat wins, okay? So what I'm going to ask you guys to do, and I'm going to give you some homework tonight. The first is that I want you to write down, if you haven't written it down, where are you going to be at the end of 2019? Because you need to know where you're going. And I'm sorry, district manager is not where you're going. It has to be beyond that. Okay? The second thing I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to watch this getting started video. You click on it. There's my face. It's from May of this year. If you have not watched this in the last 2 weeks, I'm going to ask you to watch it again. I understand it is 1 hour long, but it is 1 hour long because it is full of content that you and every new person starting the business needs to know. You can break it up. You can watch it in 20-minute segments. You can watch it in 10-minute segments, however you need to do it. But this is something that I'm going to recommend until you can really regurgitate this almost from memory and these points. This is something to use as a resource to go back to, maybe at the beginning of every month, to go back to and say, you know, I need to kind of sharpen my skills. I need to make sure I'm on point. I need to make sure I'm confident in getting people started in this business. Okay? And this video is the place to start. After you watch this video, then I'm going to ask you, everybody on this call, all 24 of you, no matter where you are in your business, I'm going to ask you to go through these 8 getting started steps. There's actually, yes, these starting steps. And I get it. You're not going to re-sign up I'm not asking you to do that. You don't maybe need to replace an order, but maybe you don't have product and you do need to place an order. But I'm going to ask you to go through these. And if you realize, I'm 90 days into my business and I don't have a 100-person name list. I couldn't show Missy if she asked me right now to pull out a 100 names list. Then you stop here and you work on this step until you have your 100-person names list. Or maybe you're like, you know what, I haven't actually ever made a post on social media that's of quality and following the examples that they have and using the content that they provided. Then you need to go and do that, okay? Because it never hurts to sharpen your skills. And it's important, have this written down somewhere. This is a recipe. If you've ever baked a recipe, do you get to just cut out a couple ingredients because you just didn't like them, or you didn't really think it made any sense, or wasn't something you were like comfortable using? You can do that, but is the recipe going to turn out? More than likely not. The chocolate chip cookies aren't going to turn out as great if you don't use all the ingredients, right? That's why there's like a set recipe for chocolate chip cookies or a set recipe for making bread. These steps are your set recipe for your success in this business, but also teaching other people to be successful in this business, okay? One thing I do want to go back here on is talking about when you get signed up and when you sign people up, really helping them get some products and understanding the value of investing in some products. Because here's a fact, you guys, last month, we had 41 new consultants join the team. Do you know how many of those consultants were a zero, like $0, like they did not purchase a product or were under the $500 mark? Over 30 of them. We can't be setting people up to run a business, whether they want to do this for a lot or a little, and say, you don't need any product. They might not be able to afford product, and that's fine. That's not for any of us to decide, but then we're going to give them some recommendations on how they can earn product and earn product in this first month. And they earn product by selling product. And then they get the host rewards. So those sales would still come up. They would still populate where that zero is, right? If they're a zero, that means they're not buying any product and they're not selling any product. So let me ask you, are they in business? Or did they just purchase a $49 consultant account? Anybody can share in the chat. I can't see the chat right now because I'm sharing my screen. Arbonne is a business where when you're in business, when you're in activity. If you buy a $49 account and you're not purchasing products to use or selling and sharing products, you don't really have a business, right? Because there's no business happening. You've just bought a consultant account. And so what you want to be doing is recommending that people get the 30 Days to Healthy Living nutrition set, because I believe everyone will feel better after doing that. They'll have a testimony of some sort, even if it is not weight loss related. They will have more energy, more vitality, identify foods or things that don't sit well with them. They'll get rid of headaches. They'll get rid of inflammation, joint pain, all different kinds of things, right? They'll feel great. The other thing that we recommend, other product line, is a skincare line. Why do we do that? We do that because those are the two main flagship products that Arbonne has that most people are going to come into your business with, either skincare or nutrition, okay? It's kind of hard to really recommend products that someone is not using. And I understand that most people are starting their business to make money because their budget is tight. I was the same way. I didn't have money to quote unquote invest in a business, but I also knew that if I wanted to share these products, if I wanted to be a testimony of these products, if I wanted to endorse these products, I needed to be using these products. So I figured out how to put some money together to invest in my business. And that's always my recommendation for everyone starting this business, okay? And here's the thing. They buy one nutrition set and they buy one anti-aging skincare set. They are at 583 QV in their start order. They find one person to do 30 days to healthy living, and they find one other person to simply get a preferred client account with them and a 150 order. And now they, as a brand new consultant, are over 1,000 PQV. They do that. They teach 2 other people to do the same thing. And those 3 people scoop in a few other orders. You're at 3,500 right there. That can be done in 24 hours. Do you see this? Do you see how this can work? Okay. But it is important that we share these products with people and that we explain to them. It's like someone saying, I'm going to start a photography business, but I'm not going to buy a camera and my phone has a crappy lens, and I'm actually probably not going to use that either, but I'm going to be a photographer. How does that work? How do you become a photographer if you don't have a camera? How do you share products that you're not using? Does that make sense? And here's the thing. You don't have to go buy all the products in Arbonne, but you can start with a few. And then next week you can get a few more. And then the next week you can get a few more. So by the end of the 30 days, you at least have a handful of products. And if you're someone who's like, Missy, I get it, but I have like $0 in my bank account. I don't even have money to put gas in my gas tank. There are ways to do this. Sell some things around your house. Host a couple events, and your sponsor will more than be willing to bring their products and let you display and sample out their products, and you can earn and buy products at 80% off. You can do that, right? There are ways that you can figure out how to get the money or the means to buy the products to get your business started, okay? So I've said enough on that. I think you guys understand why that is so important. So go through all the steps. The third thing is circle back with all of your consultants, all the people that are working the business, all the people who got the $49 account in the last 6 months, and say, hey, I'm looking to partner with people who want to do this business, and I just kind of want to find out, do you want to get started on the getting started steps we have? There are people that you have signed up into your team, and they're not working because they don't know where to start. Because they don't know these steps are here. They maybe don't know that there's a plan. You're probably thinking, well, I told them, and you probably did, but it wasn't important to them, or it wasn't a priority for them, or they just wanted to do their first 30-day round and then see how they feel. And so you circle back to all those people and you say, I am looking to partner with people. I'm so excited about my business. I know amazing things are going to happen in these next 6 months, and I want to help as many people as I can find the success that they're wanting. Do you want to chat about our getting started steps and what that looks like? And if they say yes, then you say, awesome. Do you have time now or later tonight? And you make some time to walk through some of these steps with them. There's a reason we do so much partnering in Arbonne. There's a reason there's so much value in the partnering, okay? So you come alongside them. And here's the thing, as you find those people that say, yeah, let's do the step, I'm ready, let's go for it. Then you say, great, watch the video, and you can take them here and you can say, awesome. There, do you see, the unit section? They're gonna say, yep. Do you see the 8 posts? Yep, awesome. Okay, so the very first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna watch the video, the welcome getting started video. It's 1 hour long. When do you think you can do that by? And then they're gonna tell you when they think they can do that by. And you say, awesome, give me a call or send me a text as soon as you get that done. And then they will let you know. And if after 7 days they haven't watched the video, they're giving you a clue of what they actually want to do with their business. And you believe what people do, not what they say. Everybody wants to be a national vice president with Arbonne. Everybody wants to get in front of 40 faces a month. That's what people say. But we work with what people do, what they're actually showing that they're willing to do in this business, okay? Because here's the thing. If you get to a step, so maybe they watch the video and maybe, they get down here and they're on step 3, and for whatever reason, they don't want to make a hundreds names list, 100-person names list, and they just want to skip to putting posts on Instagram. What you're finding then is that they are actually, they're not being coachable. It's called uncoachable. And I know that that sounds harsh, but it is true. When people are unwilling to follow the recipe for whatever reason, makes them nervous, they just didn't like it, didn't sit with them, wasn't their vibe, they thought they had a better way, they can do all of that, but that's actually in the category of being uncoachable. So that, again, is going to tell you where they're at. And you can say, you know what, it's totally fine, but I can only guarantee that people can be successful when they follow the recipe. So if you're not willing to follow the recipe, it's totally fine. You're independent. You can totally do this. I just can't guarantee that you're going to have the results that the other people in my team are having because they are following the recipe. Does that make sense? It's just like my sister, Tara. You guys know her. She's a personal trainer. She knows what people need in order to achieve the health goals, the fitness goals that they are wanting. She puts a weekly plan in place for them. If they're unwilling to do the plan, that's not on her, that's on them. And she can't guarantee that they're going to have the results that she has told them they will get if they follow the plan. So they're able to follow or not follow the plan, but they're only going to have the higher likelihood of achieving the goal if they follow the plan and the recipe. Does that make sense? I hope so. If it doesn't, put some things in the chat box. Along the lines of this, take a look at yourself. We always start with ourselves and ask yourselves, am I being coachable? Am I doing the steps? Do I have my 100-person names list? Am I following the advice of social media tips? Have I done my launches? Have I bought my product? And if you are not, or if you're skipping over these things, or if you aren't following what we've recommended, I'm saying this with love. And remember, you're loved, valued, and accepted regardless. Remember, that has nothing to do with any of this. Talked about it 2 weeks ago. You're totally loved, you're totally accepted, and you're totally valuable. But what I am going to tell you is that that is being uncoachable. And if you're struggling with, I don't know what to do in my business, I don't know why I'm not growing, I don't know why I can't book any activity, go back to the recipe. Are you doing the steps? Are you following what's been recommended? Do your text messages look like the text messages that your sponsor sent to you more than likely and said, this is what we recommend you send out? Or have you modified it in a way that's comfortable for you, but it's not being effective for you? Because if you watch the Getting Started video, I talk about that we have a lot of tools in our toolbox, and some of the tools that you're most comfortable with are not the ones that are going to be the most effective for you. So you choose the ones that are the most effective, and you do them enough until you get the most comfortable with them. But you don't always just choose the tools that you're most comfortable with. And it's the same thing with our text messages. It's the same thing with how we recommend follow-up. It's the same thing with how we recommend doing your Facebook posts. If your Facebook or your Instagram posts don't look like what we've recommended, then you got to evaluate that. You got to look at that. And I'm not saying that there's not room for creativity, but what I am saying is that this is a business of not what just works for you, but what is going to duplicate. There's a lot of things, you guys, in my business that I could do to grow my business, but it's not what everybody in my organization can do. So I don't do it. I don't take out ads in things. I don't sponsor things in social media because even though I could afford to do it, not everybody in my team can do it. So it's not what I want to be showing as the recipe, because I want to do the simple song, the recipe that everybody can sing. Okay? So don't skip the steps. It's like skipping the ingredients in a recipe. How we reach out works. What we say works. What we recommend works, okay? You have the proof of that. You have the proof of that in this team. You have an incredible leadership team made up of area managers and VPs who are running their businesses per these steps, teaching people per these steps. And if you want to come into that leadership position of area manager and VP, you just do the steps and you teach other people to do the steps, because duplication is the secret to a large and growing organization. Duplication in systems is what helps ordinary people achieve extraordinary results. Duplication is vital, so someone 10 removed away from you. Think of this, 10 removed, and you're like, I don't have 4 people removed from me or 2 people. You will. What are you believing for? What are you expecting? Remember, we talked about that at the beginning. Think about someone 10 people removed from you. So you sponsored them, all the way down, 10. You've never met them. You don't know them. You couldn't put a face with a name. Imagine your system, our system, this system, being so followed that that person is saying the exact same thing you are, and you've never interacted with them. That's how you grow a business that's going to be way beyond you, that's going to give you a return that's way beyond what you expect, and how you can continue to run this business in 10 to 15 hours a week. It's the duplication that matters. It's the duplication that's key. Okay? So those are the things that I wanted to share tonight, because it is super, super, super important for the goals that we have as a large team and the goals that I know you guys have in your own business. So I want to open it up. You guys have questions? Do you have comments? Do you need clarification on some of these things? Do you have concerns? Any of that? Nope, you guys got it. Okay, so again, think about your own business. Go back, write your goal for where you want to be by the end of this year. Go through the getting started video, because I'm going to guess more than likely watching a getting started video is going to have some things for you that you're like, oh, I forgot that. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's a good reminder, right? I went back and watched it this week because I was like, before I recommend this to everybody, I want to make sure that it's what I remember it being. And it is. But there's things in there that are vital when we're getting business started. The how, the why, the what, all of those things. And then taking people through these steps. And if you have someone that's started and then they've kind of like plateaued out, you circle back with them. And you say, hey, what's going on? Let's get going through those steps again. Or where are you feeling stuck? And you go back through and say, okay, you know what? Let's just go back. Did you do step 1? Yep. Did you do step 2? Yep.
I actually have a question.
Step 3. Yeah, go ahead.
How long would you wait until you followed up with someone? I've texted a few people and it's been about a week. Do you think you would text them again?
Yep, absolutely.
About, like, just, hey, I'm doing this business and whatever.
Yep. So when I send somebody a text, a reach out saying, hey, I'd love to tell you a little bit more about what I do. Typically within 48 to 72 hours, I'm sending them another message and just saying, hey, hope you're doing great. Did you get a chance to see my last message?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't leave too much time because I just know for me, my texts go, like if I would only get a text from one person, then I'm not like in a text conversation with them. It goes way down my text thread and I don't open it again. Yeah. And oftentimes with text or voice memoing, people will see it, but they're like in the middle of the day, they're at their job, they're taking their kids somewhere, they're maybe right now they're sitting at the pool or they're on vacation. And so it's like, oh yeah, but they just don't want to respond at that moment. So a quick, hey, did you get a chance to see the text I sent within 48 to 72 hours is really a great time frame.
Okay.
Yep. That's a great question, Leah. Lori, was there something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I was just going to comment, and I hopped on late. I had an overview go long, so but I wanted to share that what I caught at the end. Definitely, I think it's worthwhile, and I will say I've seen, I think 4 versions of the Getting Started, and I was so glad I went back and watched it again because there wasn't a little aspect that I hadn't even done, and it prompted me to say, oh my gosh, like this would be really helpful. The 3-column checks. That's so helpful to guide us to who, because easy yeses are just easy yeses. but having those people that meet those 3 checks. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the Getting Started. But I know Tara has mentioned this, that she was going to start rewatching it at the beginning of the month. And I remember we used to talk about this, like if you've kind of gone stale or maybe you haven't been plugged in for a few months, like there's nothing wrong with relaunching yourself. Just put the past in the past and say, okay, I'm going to start my Arbonne business and I'm going to start with this first step in getting started. Because if that's a mental thing, then it's worth doing that to get started again. Because sometimes, I've done that myself. Like, I'm just going to get started like I'm brand new and I'm just starting fresh. And, sometimes that's all it takes. But I was so thankful to watch that. And from when we bring on team, we know what they're being asked to do. Like, it's hard to say, like, are you doing everything if we haven't done that ourselves? And I couldn't find my new Y list. Like, I had an original Y list. I made a new one. I couldn't find it. It prompted me to go back and rewrite my Y list. Probably wasn't exactly the same because 21 Reasons Why is hard to remember. But I put it in my phone this time so I could pull it up. So definitely worthwhile doing that. So I was glad that you're covering this again tonight.
Good. That's awesome. Well, I feel like kind of like how we get a chance to start over in a month or at any time. I feel like July is like the January do-over. And we just really can create so much in these next 6 months. And so I felt like it was kind of a good time to have just a little bit of a reset and a new start for all the things that we're wanting to do. So that's awesome. Well, thanks everybody for hopping on tonight. I won't keep us on if there's nothing else. But love you all so much. Hope this was helpful. And just circle for yourself, go back and run through them. But then really, you guys have been doing a great job of just bringing people on. Just go back to them and say, hey, I'm looking to partner with some people. Do you want to chat about those getting started steps? And you might be surprised who maybe 90 days ago was like, oh, I just want the discount for the 30 days. And now they've seen your success or they've had a change in their own finances or needs. Seasons have changed and they're like, yeah, I'm ready to get started. I'd love to chat about that and just invite them to be a part of your business and what you're doing. People makes people feel really special and seen. So anyways, all right. Love you guys so much. Y'all have